Welcome everybody to our third ICF podcast looking at athletes coping with the coronavirus lockdown. And this week I've got three very special guests from all over the globe. I've got all the way from New Zealand, the land of the long white cloud, 2016 Paralympian Scott Martlew joining us. Good morning to you, Scott, or good evening to you, I believe.
Yep, it's good evening.
From Denmark, we've got Rene, Poulsen, of course, silver medalist from the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Good morning to you, Rene.
Good morning.
And from Austria, Nadine Weratschnig, who was about to make her Olympic debut this year in Tokyo. Good morning to you, Nadine. How are you?
Good morning.
So I want to just start by asking each of you what the last couple of months have been for you, both mentally and physically. Nadine, we might start with you. What has it been like for you the last couple of months?
Yeah, it was hard because Austria started pretty early with the coronavirus. When the government was like canceling all the races and we weren't even able to go out and to do sports and everything, but now it's getting better every day and each day. Today is the 1st of May, so we started to make everything open again, and that's pretty good now.
Was it hard, Nadine, to remain positive during that time for you?
No, it wasn't hard. It was easy because I was able to see my family more often and to spend more time at home. So of course I was sad when I heard that the Olympics they will be delayed, but then I did the best and I was at home. It was really nice.
I know, Nadine, for you, the last couple of years, it's been really, really hard because the slalom competition amongst the Austrian team is very, very tight for that one position. You were so close to finally getting to that Olympics this year and all of a sudden to be told, well, actually, it's not going to happen. What was that like?
I was like, can't describe it. I was really surprised, and then I said, okay, well, our federation was saying that we are still able to compete next year. The ones who are qualified now, so nothing really changed. They're the same goals, and it's just another time, so it's okay.
And Rene, Poulsen, what's it been like for you? You've been on the scene for a few years now. You've seen all sorts of things coming and going, but I doubt you've ever seen anything like this.
Never seen anything like this.
No.
It's been okay. Like we've been able to paddle, and our lockdown hasn't really. It's more been like we haven't had a curfew or like quarantine or anything. So it's more been like everything was locked down, like stores and stuff. All unnecessary stores and things that we needed in daily life, but no travel. But otherwise, then it's just been pretty normal for us. We're not allowed to be more than 10 people gathered in one place, which is a bit of a challenge, especially because, say, our weather, like we're just coming out of winter, and last week we had really good weather, so people started steaming together all around Copenhagen, for example. And so, and then the government gets really angry and starts telling us what we can and cannot do. But we're pretty lucky. Like we're pretty fortunate in Denmark. So yeah.
But you can't go to gyms, can you? So is that tough?
No, we're not allowed to go to any gym inside. So actually, the first thing I did when I got home was I bought a TRX. I hope you all know what it is. It's basically a little bit like the Olympic rings. You can do all sorts of exercises in them. And then last week I got some basic gym equipment for my home. which I never in my entire life. I was always like, oh no, I will never have a home gym. I would never do that. And now I have a fucking home gym. Yeah, no, it's a bit different, but yeah, it's okay.
And Scott, what about for you? What's it been like? I mean, we know that down in New Zealand, you've been very fortunate with the number of people who've actually died. But what's it been like in terms of restrictions down in New Zealand?
Yeah, so our government went pretty hard and fast on the lockdown, and we've been in lockdown for 5 weeks now, and so we went into what we call level 4 lockdown, which is like complete lockdown, like all the shops shut, only grocery stores and essential stuff open. So you pretty much have to stay home, and we're allowed to go out for like exercise, like around the neighbourhood or suburb, and so I'm lucky enough to live near the beach, so I've sort of been able to head down there. So it hasn't been too bad, but we're just coming into our first week of level 3 lockdown, which is so a few people have gone back to work and so like construction workers and all that, and takeaway joints are opening up and stuff. So yeah, it's slowly opening up again. Once we're sort of on the way to eliminating COVID at the moment, which is pretty
and
lucky.
for you, for training, Scott, what have you been able to do?
Lucky enough to have a erg in my house, and also High Performance Sport New Zealand loaned out some of the gym gear, so I was able to get quite a few different weights and stuff, like dumbbells and a bench pull and stuff in the garage. So I've been able to keep moving anyway. But yeah, so the first few weeks was like the motivation was up there, but sort of the last couple have been a bit tough. But yeah.
Yeah, I
It's,
mean,
it's good. Yeah, we're just allowed to get back out onto the water now. So so I've been on the water for 3 days now, which is a nice change.
I mean, 4 years is a long time anyway. Now that you sort of know it's going to be 5, and an extra year, what do you do mentally to prepare yourself for yet another year of preparation?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just business as usual. So sort of plan out the year ahead, and I guess it did get hard. Like once it was disappointing that they'd moved, but definitely the right decision. So you just got to deal with it, I guess. So there's nothing you can do about it, and just got to deal with it the best you can.
And as an elite athlete, I mean, the last thing you want to do is get sick, get really sick. So when something like this, like the coronavirus appears, do you feel like you may worry more than the average person, because this is 4 years on the line here, and if you pick this virus up, all of a sudden your whole Paralympic dreams could be in danger? Is that something which you think about?
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, you always sort of trying to avoid getting sick. So it does sort of, the stakes do feel like you always sort of do worry about getting sick. So,
Nadine, what about for you? Do you worry that we all know that this virus is serious? As an elite athlete, how do you feel about the potential to so close to an Olympics to pick up something like this?
Well, yeah, I was thinking about it, but not because of me, especially because of my parents more, not because of the Olympic dream, because maybe it's stupid, but I feel young and strong to get rid of this in a few weeks. And so I wasn't really worrying about myself. So I think it's okay.
And did you take any extra precautions, or did you have that young, carefree attitude and just live life?
No, I'm really concerned about the elderlies and about friends. So I really try my best to don't go out to do extra shopping or things like this, or to see a lot of people. And so yeah, my attitude is to just to stay away from the people and just only go for training outside and go inside my flat again, and that's it.
Rene, did the potential of catching coronavirus keep you awake at night at all, or were you pretty relaxed about it as well?
Slept like a baby. No. Actually, I usually, because I'm a full-time athlete, no job or anything on the side, and so I didn't change much, because I usually try to stick to myself, and I don't really enjoy huge crowds. And so for me, whenever people have been asking me, oh, how do you manage all the social distancing? And I was like, yeah, it's not so hard. It's the same as usual. Yeah, so no, the only thing is, like, we like, there's like 2 meter, like, we try to keep like a 1.5, 2 meter distance from each other, especially in training and at the training center. And we're not allowed to be too many people inside the boat hall, or the boat shed. It's more like a, I don't know, it's huge, so I wouldn't call it a shed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, so mostly for me it was pretty much just business as usual. Yeah. Try not to mingle too much, and actually it's a lot of what you would probably do the last month going into the Olympics, or going into World Champs. It's no, like, you try to like avoid doing too much social with people from the outside, because you know if you get sick, you'll lose your chance. So I wasn't obnoxious about it, but just common sense. And
yeah. Do you think, because you've had a few Olympic campaigns now already, do you think the next 12 months is going to be a lot different? Because obviously we still don't know definitely that the Olympics are going to be on next year, but then there's also this added stress, you know, of people's health and all that. What do you think this next 12 months is going to be like?
Yeah, I think actually I talked to one of the Danish former lightweight rowers, Olympic champion, and he said the ones who are going to win the Olympics are the ones who are able to stay sane and remain calm in this situation, because it's so different. But like, even our team right now, there's the problems are that some people were supposed to start their education, and say in Denmark, you can request to wait 1 more year. But in this case, one of the athletes already used that year, because she was like, "Oh, I'm going to the Olympics. I'm going to take a year just training," and now it's another year. So now she's in the situation where she has to choose between the Olympics or having to drop her education entirely, which we're not exactly paid to do what we do in Denmark. So education is really important. So I think the big challenge for the next year will just be whether or not people can afford to go to the Olympics. Some people will have to drop because they can't afford it, either in financial way or educational or family wise. Like, some people just can't make it.
Wow.
Hopefully not too many.
No, that'd be devastating for people. So what you're saying, just on your comment about who will win, people who are mentally strong will triumph over people who are physically strong, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott,
I think that's mentally is definitely the hardest part of this.
Yeah. Scott, you went through the build up to Rio, which would have been an exciting time for you, Scott, being your first Paralympics. Do you think Rene's right there, that the next 12 months will be more of a challenge mentally than physically?
Yeah, definitely think that's correct. Like, you can only sort of control what you can control. So sort of, yeah, just do what you can really to get there, but and not sort of not sort of worry about like other things that you can't control.
Which is easy to say, of course, but it's hard.
Yeah.
It's in the news every day.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time you go near someone, there's always the thought in your mind that they might be the person that's going to infect you. It's not that easy, is it, just to put it out of your mind?
No.
Nadine, for you, what sort of support are you getting as a team, and do you worry about the stresses mentally that you might be under for the next 12 months? I know you've said you're young and you're not worried too much, but
Yeah.
concerned that 2 months out from Tokyo you might pick something up, or
yeah, I think I'm a really how can I say, not the wrong athlete to ask this, but I'm really careless, and I think I do the best out of the situation. And if you ask me, you know me, I'm not too worried and too concerned about these races and even the Olympics. I qualified with the feeling like, I tried. I go to the Olympics, I tried, I'll do my best, but it's not so that I'm so focused. I'm focused, but not too much. And so I think I'm mentally strong for this, because I wasn't prepared for exactly this day to start on this day, stay at the start line and to do my best. So I was like more free in my mind, so it's not too bad for me.
But you must surely, when it starts getting closer, I mean, Rene's been there, Scott's been there, surely when it gets like 2 months out, a month out from the Olympics, it's going to feel a lot different for you. It's going to feel, especially given what we've been through and what the world's going through, it'll be incredible to know what will be going through people's minds. Do you think about that, or are you so relaxed about it you're not focusing on that at all, Nadine?
I do. I'm thinking about it, yeah. But yeah, I let it. Yeah, I will see how it comes. So I'm not too concerned about it. I don't think what's going on in 12 months. So I'm not sure if they will find how to say anti-corona.
A virus.
Anti-corona.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happens. So I don't want to think about this now. We will see.
Yeah. And just a final question on the Olympics for the three of you. What are your thoughts about it going ahead next year, and what would it mean if they had to, in the end, cancel it and say, no, it can't happen, it's unsafe? I mean, Nadine, would you be okay with that? Would you think that would be fair if they couldn't do it and guarantee everybody's health and safety?
Yeah, I read it a few days ago that this could be an option, and I thought like, okay, if it's not safe and if they can't do that, then I'm okay with this. I'm totally okay with this. Of course, it was a dream, but still, many Olympics to go if I train hard. So maybe for us, it would be really hard to not compete there, but it's, I think the health is more important. So
Rene,
it's okay.
What would you think, Rene, if they had to make that call?
For me, it would be like, obviously they have to follow the health regulations and they have to be sure that everybody's safe. But on the other hand, my personal opinion is that the Olympics is for the athletes, and obviously everybody loves to watch the Olympics, but I think it would be a shame not to do the Olympics, because when you do the Olympics, it's not so much about the spectators. It's more about for the athletes to go out and show the world that we are not afraid, and that we dare to go out and do our best. And so I think there's a lot to lose for the world by losing the Olympics. And so on that perspective, I think it would be actually counterproductive to cancel it. And I hope that they are looking at solutions that may or may not include having audience.
Would you be okay competing in front of empty stands? Would it be?
I do sprint kayak. It happens. No, no. So obviously, I would love to have a lot of spectators, but I've been to world champs where there was only a few thousand people watching it on the grandstands, and I've been to world champs like in second where there were maybe, I don't know, what was there, 60,000 or something, 40,000? A lot of people. And like in Milan where there was probably 5,000 people or something, just basically sitting in the water. So for me, like some of the World Cup races, there's nobody there. So for me, the most important would be to go and do the race and to be able to show the world that, yeah, it's still worth it to fight.
Scott, what about you? If they had to make that call next year, how would you feel about possibly not having a Paralympics at all?
Yeah, no, it's obviously it'll be pretty disappointing if they couldn't hold it. So everyone works so hard to get to that. It's everyone's goal to race in the Paralympics or the Olympics and give it their best shot. But yeah, obviously if they can't have it, that's going to be detrimental to health, and I don't know, possibly might be even a financial reason that they might not have it. It's if it can't go ahead, it can't go ahead. So yeah, we can't really control that. So they're just got to keep control.
Would you be okay, Scott, competing, behind closed doors, just having the TV cameras there, no fans?
Yeah, that would be and I'll be okay with that. As Rene was saying, it's not you get out there and you're sort of focused on the race anyway. So it's it'll be fine with me.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed, everyone, that we do have an Olympics and a Paralympics next year. It is still a long way away and the world is changing every day. So hopefully we'll have some good news. I wanted to finish today because on some positives, because there are a lot of people in the world who still can't get out on the water and may not be able to get out on the water for a long time. So they're looking for inspiration. They're looking for ideas on how to keep themselves busy. We know Rene set himself up a home gym for the first time ever.
Fucking shit out of books.
So maybe if you've got some tips, guys, for other athletes on how to keep themselves occupied, how to keep themselves busy during these months. Maybe you've seen something on TV, or you've read a good book, or you've got a good maybe Scott, say you've got some tips on good ergos or something. Any tips you might be able to pass on for
Yeah, so I don't know, I've sort of got amongst a few different sort of online challenges and stuff, and obviously had a bit of fun with. I hadn't had a haircut for a while, so I sort of gave myself a haircut and
I think
bought some clippers online and had a go at that. So
Rene,
that's why it's so short at the moment.
You should have done Scott's haircut, Rene. It might have been.
Yeah.
Nah, man, no. Oh, terrible.
What sort of online challenges, Scott, have you been doing? Have they been physical?
Oh, there's that sort of, there's that. I tried to start a haircut challenge, and I got a few guys on board, but it sort of ended pretty badly for them. And then there's just been a few other things that there's that Conor McGregor Cropper 12 challenge thing, and then there's been a few others. So just having fun really, and then just getting out and doing what you can do. If you are allowed out in the neighbourhood, you can just get out and actually see it sort of forgotten what was around my area, sort of thing, because I'm so busy in normal life that I don't get to go out and walk the streets or go down to the local beach, or there's a forest just near my place. So sort of been exploring a lot more as well, which has been good.
And you wouldn't have seen a New Zealand winter for a while, I would imagine.
Yeah, I usually train through most of the winter, so it's which is quite tough anyway. So I'll be doing that again this time around.
Nadine, you got
Very
tips
cool.
for people? How do they keep themselves occupied at home?
I was improving my cooking skills.
Nice.
This worked well, so I was trying to do new recipes and baking, and that's it.
Anything
I was really busy.
Anything in particular that you are very proud of for your cooking?
No.
Anything you cooked?
No.
Nothing you want to review?
So it's like pasta. I do really good pasta.
Right.
The sauces, they're really nice. No, not like the pasta, just sauce and noodles, like really good one with.
I was going to say late at night meal, so that's. Have you been doing any good TV streaming or anything like that you can recommend?
I mind reading. I was reading a lot of books, like thrillers and things like this, and that's it. I have a sister at home, so I wasn't really bored.
Okay, good. Rene, what about you? Any good tips for people?
I did a lot of different things. So I read a bunch of books. I would recommend people to read The Power of Now. I started reading Denial of Death, and what was the other ones? The Secret. I read 3 or 4 books, and in the last 2 months. And then I always had a bunch of ideas of things that I was like, oh, I don't have time to do this, and I still won't have time to do them, but I actually wrote them down on paper, and then I passed them on to some friends who like to work with that. And I don't know. And
business ideas, Rene, sort of thing?
Yeah. Business ideas, or just like one of them is just basically for learning easily to make it easier to learn, like history or like knowledge about kayaking or whatever. And I did my first oven cooked duck.
Wow.
Yeah, it was my first ever. My sister is Michelin chef, so she told me how to do it. And she and the leftovers I made pulled duck.
My God.
So so I did a bunch of things, and I was still training, so
wow.
I shouldn't even be bored.
No, and were you happy with it? And more importantly, was your Michelin sister, was she impressed with it?
She was like, Rene, I do this every day. You should probably be better at cooking. I was like, nice. I said, I paddle, you cook.
Yeah.
No, and I have a wooden terrace, like a patio, and I cleaned that off and gave it new fresh oil. Like you have to put oil on the whole wood. Yeah.
Wow, isn't it fantastic, all these new skills that we're learning, all these jobs that are getting done, all these books that have been sitting on the shelves gathering dust, all of a sudden we're pulling them down and actually finding how to read them. There are positives that are coming out of all of this in amongst the negatives. Guys, look, thank you so much for having a chat with us, for catching up. It's good to know the three of you are still doing really well, and we hope that we'll get to see you on the water maybe later this year, but probably early next year. We'll see.
Hopefully, fingers crossed, later this year.
Yeah, I mean, look, people are still talking about September, October, which might be a possibility, and that gives us something to work towards. But thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. Scott Martlew from New Zealand, Nadine Weratschnig from Austria, and Rene Holton from Denmark. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your downtime if you have any of it, and stay safe, stay healthy, and hopefully we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.